Hello everyone and welcome to my new series here on this channel. In this series is going to be a main focus on conservation, so there's going to be a lot more animal facts and custom billboards, as you can probably see in the distance. Also on this series there's going to be a little bit of a story going alongside of it, with some characters that you'll be introduced to in a little bit. And I've also started building the entrance with a gift shop in the middle. And finally, I've also started the very first habitat, where it's going to lead in multiple directions, which is going to be the 9-banded armadillo. That there will be more facts, and going into the speed build, where we will introduce you to some of the new characters here. Hello everyone, and welcome to the part of the video where I introduce you to our main character, who is the head manager of Onca Wildlife Centre. She is the founder, and starting off her adventure, she is named Ashlynn, who is a confident young woman in her 20s. She studied at Oxford University to be specific, in England, which is one of the top universities in the world. She has a very sort of active attitude. She always wants to go and explore the world, and she's always wanted to open up her own zoo. So about 2 years ago, when she exited out of university, she decided to go to South America. She has stayed in Southeastern America for around a year and a half now, and she found an abandoned zoo on her way to her research lab one day, and as soon as it got put on sale, she bought it straight away, and ever since she has been renovating it with a couple of new animals she has rescued recently, which is the 9-banded armadillo. Currently, she is working by herself and a couple of construction workers who are locals around the town who want to come and help her with her conservation centre. And as she was showing some schematics to a construction worker, her name was called out by some sort of male voice. She kind of looked away, looked around her, and thought nothing of it until she saw someone called Newt. I will introduce Newt next episode, but obviously during this time the 9-banded armadillo enclosure is built, which is not currently yet happening, as you are seeing it being constructed live. Our pair of 9-banded armadillos here at Onca Wildlife Centre have had a bit of a tough story, really. They are both mates for around, they're about 1 year old, and they are from North America, so not actually native to South America. Well, they are, but not our species necessarily. They were found in Texas or Arkansas, somewhere around there. And sadly, people have been killing or sort of poaching the 9-banded armadillo in this region due to their health fears, because armadillos are the only animals that can actually make us contract leprosy, which is a pretty nasty disease, and around 10 to 20% of the animals are believed to be infected. So sadly, the fact that they can transmit onto humans has made them a little bit of a target to the armadillo. So luckily, Onca Wildlife Centre has took in these two, saved them from this horrible village in Texas/Arkansas, and now they are living peacefully in the wildlife centre. But sadly, they cannot be re-released into the wild due to one of them having a lost limb, and the other one is completely inseparable from it, so sadly they cannot be separated. Our armadillo's name is Martin, and the other one is Adela. Martin is very protective over Adela, the fact that poor Adela struggles to walk with her only 3 limbs, so Martin seems to kind of help her around, and they always seem cuddling by the dome that Ashlynn set up around the time this was built. The armadillos were held in the facility outside of Onca Wildlife Reserve, where they were kind of seen by the people entering the centre, but the gift shop was only open at the time, so it wasn't that popular, and I would say only around 5 people would turn up a day, so obviously not that many people, and they were usually just the locals coming to see if Ashlynn has set up any new gifts or anything of the sorts. I found building this habitat quite a struggle because when I was looking for inspiration for the armadillo, that I actually found quite little. So I ended up looking at sort of badger habitats, fox habitats, sort of animals that have burrows, because I had the idea in the back of my head. I wanted people to kind of go through this dome as they entered the zoo, so they kind of go through underneath this burrow, and it feels like they're almost digging with the armadillos, which is what I wanted to have. And the education was quite important to me, that kids had that feeling that they were different when they were inside there compared to if you went left. So obviously as you go through this tunnel, that it would emerge. I don't know where it's going to emerge from. It'd be from a later episode, so I'm not 100% sure of what is going to go on there. I also wanted to talk about the new animals that I saw from the Frontier live stream the other day. We have the African leopard coming in, and it also looks like we've got the Pallas cat, which seems to be part of some sort of Highland wildlife pack. I'm thinking it's some sort of like steppe wildlife pack. I don't know, but they're weird animals. I don't know why they put them. But yeah, the African leopard is going to be a little bit difficult to sort of put into this area. So I think I'm just going to skip the fact the African leopard. But I have a little idea of how to fit the Pallas cat specifically, and maybe some other of the animals into here. I have a couple of ideas, but about that, I'm not too sure on what other animals would be in the pack. I saw obviously the baboons on there, not too sure which type yet, but most likely they're the Hamadryas baboons found in Ethiopia. But there was also the, what was it, Markor? Bakor? I can't remember the name of it now. I've never heard of the animal before, but I've never seen it either. But I have seen its, I think I've seen the horns before. I remember seeing something similar of the sorts. But yeah, they're a bit, not, I wouldn't say like animals I would like, but you know, they're needed. And going on to, but I think the last video I said, I think this is going to be the last pack. I now don't think that's going to be the last pack. I generally, the way they were saying was, oh, we've got a couple more lined up. It's just that they were focusing on console. And I'm not too sure if this is true, but people have been saying that this might be a larger animal pack, where there could be 12 animals, or if they're just trying to tease us because obviously there was 3 in that picture that we got a glimpse of. So I'm not too sure if they were actually going to make a larger animal pack, or if they were going to do multiple, so one next year during Easter period. I'm not too sure. What I have kind of come up with actually, which I don't think I have seen anyone else talk about this, but we currently have, I think we have 18 packs in Planet Zoo currently. Yeah, I think it is 18. I can't remember now. There's quite a lot anyway, but only one of them, such as the deluxe pack, that's going to be on itself, and all the other ones in console edition have been paired up together. So I've got a feeling that as we kind of get into the new animal pack, it's going to start, I think that'll be 17 then. So then we've got 18, so obviously the new pack can be paired with something else. But if they were going to bring out another animal pack, or another pack itself, that means they would have to add an extra one, 2 extra ones in fact, to create that sort of pairing for the next one. So I have an idea that maybe this is the last official animal pack, and then the one afterwards maybe be a little bit of a larger one. Or I think this one might be similar to the Barnyard Animal Pack, where we got some items alongside of it. I feel like we are lacking a little bit in the sort of grassland, steppe environment, foliage. I think we're missing a little bit there. Like grasses would be lovely to have. Obviously we got them in a conservation pack, but that was like 2 years ago. So I am hoping for some foliage and hopefully some new rocks. I would love that, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I think we are going to get 2 more, I think, so they pair up together to go into the next sort of pack of console players. But yeah, I'm not too sure why they've done that. It's a little bit suspicious in my opinion. I think they're definitely planning something quite big for the future. So moving on to the armadillo facts of today's episode. The 9-banded armadillo in particular is the most common armadillo family in America, and that is North and South America. They are very widespread. As I said, our ones are currently from Texas/Arkansas in that area. We're not too sure, as they got rescued and taken into someone else's home for the meantime while these guys were being kept before they got introduced here. They also have the ability to cross rivers while floating. They can actually hold their breath up to 5 minutes, and they do this by inflating their intestines to kind of float themselves, so they kind of act like a balloon almost across a river, but they also kind of just float, if that makes sense, and just hold their breath if they need to, which is actually quite a long time. I don't think I could hold my breath for 5 minutes, so I'm quite impressed. They are typically found in more rainy environments, so finding them in the Texas and Arkansas region is quite rare. These guys prefer sort of tropical rainforests and stuff like that, so they are loving the mountain region here we have. So usually they are found in, as I said, tropical rainforest, open prairies, which is specifically North American, that sort of grasslands, and scrublands. So they prefer little amount of trees or a lot of trees and a lot of rain. But I think the rain, they like it when there's a lot of trees and a lot of rain because of the easier digging capabilities which are found in these environments. So that's definitely a good thing about them, is that they're very adaptable to different climates. So no matter where these guys are put in the zoo, they will be perfectly fine, and they are a perfect addition to the Onca Wildlife Centre. To make it clear, the 9-banded armadillo does not roll up into a ball. It's only the 3-banded armadillo that rolls up into the ball, and that's mainly just because of the amount of bands. So when you look at their shell, or their sort of exo thingy, whatever you want to call it, they kind of have this sort of band. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like folds almost. And while the 3-banded armadillo has 3 bands and the 9-banded has 9, so you can kind of guess where their names come from. So you definitely have to be sure you count them before you identify them, because sadly the 3-banded can roll up and protect themselves fully, but the 9-banded do seem to find it difficult. I actually could not find how or where they wanted that. I don't know why they avoid using the rolling up thing, but they're a little bit weird by that fact. Also, armadillos are potentially the most funniest thing, because they actually sort of make this high-pitched sound, and in fact there's actually a subspecies called the screaming hairy armadillo that actually are known to make this really loud noise that discourage predators rather than roll up in a ball. But then again, I'm not too sure about the 9-banded armadillo fully. Most likely the armadillo will just dig underground and just sort of run away, which is why in their territory they typically have been known to have multiple burrows, so they can just kind of run away into one of their burrows. Also, one of the weirdest things is that the 9-banded armadillo gives birth to 4 identical pups, and this is mainly it's like almost like how identical twins are formed, how they're just sort of identical to each other because of like the zygote, which is like a unborn baby being split into 4 all the time, which is pretty impressive, I must say so myself. Sadly, we are coming to an end of today's video, so I do hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that shows me that you're appreciating my content. I would also like to give a big shout out to everyone who supported me in my last series, Wildwood Zoo, because that was my very long-term zoo that had all different species from all different areas of the world, which I'm so pleased with. Be sure to download it in my Steam Workshop page. That should be in my YouTube channel descriptions, so make sure you check it there, and also make sure to leave a review and comment on it, just to say, oh, I like it, or I think you can improve on this area, just so I know how I can improve on my tropical zoo. This is actually going to be pretty focused on native animals, and then eventually I will push into the non-native animals. So for example, there might be some Southeast Asian animals, such as like the monkeys we have down there, like the gibbon and stuff like that. So do expect things like that, and yeah, I will see you on the next one. See you then, bye.